I was sitting in the parking lot of the company where I'd worked for 15 years, holding a cardboard box with my stuff, when the email arrived. Your credit card is 90 days past due. Legal collection process initiated. I trembled. What card? I opened the bank app for the first time in months. Diane always handled the finances. My blood ran cold. 19 cards, 19, all in my name. 267. Zero in debt. Casinos, online gambling, cash withdrawals, all while she told me she was home taking care of the kids. My firing, because of my destroyed credit score that the company discovered in a routine check. But what Diane didn't know is that I had saved all of her lies. And the judge was going to love every single one of them. She destroyed my life. I was going to return the favor, legally. Diane and I got married 16 years ago. She was charismatic, beautiful, and said she wanted to be a full-time mom. I loved the idea of having a traditional family. I worked hard, moved up in position, and let her manage everything at home, including finances. You work so hard. Honey, let me take care of this, she always said, and I trusted, blindly. Over the last 3 years, I noticed subtle changes. She was always with friends or at the gym. She'd come home either too excited or strangely depressed. Jake, our 14-year-old son, commented a few times, "Dad, Mom's acting weird. She's on her phone for hours and gets nervous when anyone comes near." I ignored it. I thought it was stress. Early menopause, who knows? I never suspected the truth. Then came that day. March 15th, my manager called me into a closed meeting. "Marcus, we need to talk about your background check for the promotion." My heart raced with excitement. Finally, the promotion to senior manager. "Your credit score has dropped to 410. We have 19 cards in your name with severe delinquency. This violates our security policy for management positions. We're terminating your contract." I was fired. For debts I didn't know existed. In the parking lot, with trembling hands, I started investigating. Each card had the same pattern. Online applications approved with my SSN, but delivery addressed to P.O. boxes. Transactions at local casinos. Diane hated casinos. Or so she said. Withdrawals at times when she should have been picking up the kids from school. Everything clicked. The girls' nights out, the doctor's appointments, the school meetings I never needed to attend. Diane had destroyed my financial life, and she thought I'd never find out. I drove home on autopilot. My mind was a hurricane of rage, betrayal, and disbelief. I parked and sat in the car for 20 minutes, breathing deeply, planning. I couldn't go in yelling. I needed proof. I needed everything. I entered the house with force.com. Diane was in the kitchen, preparing dinner, as if it were a normal day. "Hi, honey, how was work?" Her voice sweet, performative. Jake was in the living room doing homework. Emily was watching cartoons. It was interesting. My voice came out controlled. "Diane, can we talk in the bedroom?" She frowned. "Sure, let me just finish here. Now." Something in my tone made her drop the spoon. We went upstairs. I closed the door. "Marcus, what happened?" I threw my phone on the bed, screen showing the statements. "You want to explain this to me?" Her blue eyes widened for a split second, pure panic, before she composed her face. "Explain what?" 19 credit cards. $267,000 in debt. In my name, casinos, Diane, casinos. She laughed. She actually laughed. "Marcus, that's ridiculous. It must be fraud. Someone stole your identity." "Stole? The transactions are at casinos 3 miles from here. At the exact times you should have been at the gym. Do you think I'm an idiot?" Her face hardened. "You're accusing me? I take care of this house. These children, and you accuse me of this?" I was fired today. "Because of my destroyed credit score, you destroyed me, Diane." Silence. Then she started crying. Fake tears I knew so well, but had never recognized as fake. "I have a problem, Marcus. I need help. It was a mistake, a mistake. $267. Is a mistake. I'll pay it back. We'll fix this. No, you're leaving this house. Now." She stopped crying instantly. "You can't kick me out of my house. Yours, it's in my name, bought with my salary, which doesn't exist anymore because of you. If you kick me out, I'm taking the kids, and I'll tell everyone you're abusive, that I was a victim. Who do you think they'll believe, Marcus? The cold engineer or the dedicated mother?" That moment changed everything. She wasn't sorry. She was calculating. And she had just threatened to use our children as weapons. "Leave the room," I said, with icy calm. "I need to think." She smiled a victory smile that made me nauseous and left. That night, I didn't sleep. I stayed in the office, downloading statements, printing emails, recording conversations. Voice recorders are legal in my state when you're part of the conversation. I discovered Diane had opened a P.O. box under her maiden name. She had 3 different cell phones. I found 2 hidden in her drawer. One of them had messages to a bookie, debts to loan sharks, promises to pay next week when my idiot husband gets his bonus. She called me an idiot. Two strangers. I called a lawyer early in the morning. Richard Davis, financial fraud specialist. I explained everything. Marcus, you have a criminal case here, not just divorce, identity theft, bank fraud. She could go to prison. Good, we're going to need everything. Evidence, witnesses, timeline, and you need to file a police report today. I went to the police station. Detective Morrison received me. I told her everything, showed her everything. She looked at me with a mixture of pity and professional determination. Mr. Thompson, we'll investigate, but I need you to know, spousal fraud cases are complicated. Often, wives claim the husband knew and consented. She's already threatened to do exactly that, and threatened to use the children against me. Morrison closed the file. Then we'll do this right. You'll go home, act normally, and we'll build the case. It could take weeks. It was 5 weeks of hell, pretending normalcy while Diane acted as if nothing had happened. She even suggested we refinance the house to pay off the debts, trying to make me an accomplice to her own fraud. The investigation revealed more horror. Diane had used Jake's SSN to open 2 cards as well. Our 14-year-old son already had destroyed credit history. She had forged my signature 27 times. She had withdrawn the kids' college fund, $45,000, and lost it all in one night in Atlantic City. When Morrison came with the arrest warrant, it was 6 a.m. Diane was sleeping. So were the kids. They knocked on the door. I opened it. 6 police officers. Diane Thompson. Master bedroom. I went upstairs with them. I woke Diane. There are people here for you. She looked at the uniforms and went white. Marcus, what did you do? Diane Thompson. You're under arrest for bank fraud, identity theft, document forgery. Morrison continued reading her rights while handcuffing her. Diane started screaming. Marcus, don't do this. Think of the children. I'm their mother. You stole their future. The $45,000 for their college. Destroyed Jake's credit. Did you think of them when you did that? She was taken away. Jake and Emily woke up to the noise. I had to sit with them and explain in age-appropriate ways what their mother had done. Jake just said, I knew something was wrong. Emily cried and cried and cried. The following months were a blur of hearings. Family therapy, financial reconstruction. The bank, thanks to overwhelming evidence, reversed most of the debts. My credit score started climbing slowly. I got a new job, with lower salary, but it was a fresh start. Diane tried every trick. She claimed I was abusive, disproven by friends, family, even the kids' school therapist. She claimed I knew about the debts, disproven by communication records and the fact that I had filed the report immediately upon discovery. She claimed addiction as a disease to ask for leniency, but the prosecution proved premeditation in every fraud. The sentencing day was a year after the arrest. Packed courtroom. Diane, thin and pale, in an orange jumpsuit, looked like a different person. No makeup. No rehearsed charm. The judge's stern 60-year-old man read the verdict. Mrs. Thompson, your actions demonstrate not only disrespect for the law, but for the very family you should protect. You destroyed your husband's financial future, compromised your minor son's credit, and stole your children's education. All to feed an addiction you hid with elaborate lies and psychological manipulation. He paused. 8 years in prison. No possibility of parole before 5 years. Mandatory rehabilitation for gambling addiction. And permanent loss of custody of minors Jake and Emily Thompson. Diane collapsed. She screamed. Guards had to restrain her. I looked at her, the woman I loved, had children with, blindly trusted, and felt nothing, not anger, not sadness, just relief. Jake and Emily are in therapy. We're rebuilding our life slowly, but with honesty. Jake told me the other day, Dad, thank you for not giving up when things got hard. As for Diane, she wrote me from prison once, a long letter, asking for forgiveness, saying she made mistakes. Mistakes, as if she had forgotten her car keys, not destroyed an entire family. I tore up the letter without responding. Today, 2 years later, my credit score is at 720. I have a stable job. The kids are happy, healthy, safe, and Diane, she still has 3 years to go. Behind bars, where liars and fraudsters belong. She bet I'd never find out. She lost, and this time, the house won. My house.